Let's bring in two members of Congress who were there today and helped make this happen. Representatives Tim Burchett of Tennessee and Paulina Luna of Florida. It's good to have you both. Thank you for joining me after a long day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Representative Luna, what did you like? What do you need more of after today?
You know, the one thing that was incredibly frustrating is leading up to this hearing, which, by the way, I want to remind people, this was coordinated weeks in advance, and there's a lot of sweat equity that went into it by myself, Representative Burchett, Gates, and Moskowitz. But, you know, we were denied access to a SCIF so that we could receive some of that information. Those questions that Grush was being asked, we actually wanted to talk to him prior, and again, we were denied access to that. My favorite thing, though, was the fact that you had multiple people, witnesses, credible backgrounds, admitting and disclosing not only sightings, but also to, as former members of the military, really what our service members are facing and the aspect of national security that I think in previous discussions in regards to UAP, a lot of taboos have been circulating. And so I think that this is just the start of one of many hearings. I know that Representative Burchett is going to be taking lead on conducting some of those field hearings. And honestly, the first step in the right direction is going to be getting that information in a SCIF and seeing what we can release to the American people.
Congressman from Tennessee, am I really going to have to show up in your backyard? I reached out yesterday out of respect because I didn't like to hear that they were messing with your ability to chair this. Why are you getting friction, and what do you think happens next?
Well, when you're over the target, Chris, that's when they fire at you the most. And I appreciated what you said about Senator McConnell. That showed incredible class and good taste, so thank you. I think that's missing in our political discourse today. But you know, we've been through this. We've worked, Representative Luna, myself, and others have been working on this for months, actually. And you know, you rock a few boats. Maybe we misunderstood. I don't know. But I didn't want the attention to be about the chairmanship. I wanted it to be about what we're talking about, and transparency is something that we really have a problem with in government today, and it was a bipartisan effort. And some of the questions were excellent. Representative Luna, of course, stole the show with most of her questions. I just kind of batted cleanup, and it was a great day for the American public. I think that the UFO community and the people that just question what's going on in government had plenty of answers today. You know, we asked questions about, do we think people lost their lives because of this knowledge? And the answer was in the affirmative. You know, we were denied access to a SCIF so we could get this information. Once again, another roadblock put up by both parties, by leadership, by the so-called intelligence community, as I like to say, the war pigs over at, or the war pimps, excuse me, over at the Pentagon. And, you know, it's just a continuation of that fact. And we'll vote to add them, and I'm sure, more billions of dollars unchecked, and they will continue thumbing their nose at the American public. Representative Luna, myself, and Representative Gates were denied access down at Eglin Air Force Base. We were told we were going to get this, and we were turned away. I mean, this is your military telling your elected officials what to do. These are bureaucrats that literally have driven a four-legged mahogany around, and they're telling us what to do. You talked about it last night in some of your commentary, and it's, again, this is very offensive to me, it's offensive to the American public, and we need some answers.
So, look, the good news is it seemed to me that Congress did its homework or came with an agenda of actual oversight and understanding in this hearing that I don't always see. We'll just leave it at that. But, one, I don't like that I had a hard time getting Democrats to do this tonight. I don't understand. They were there today. I don't know. But I'll put that to the side also. What are the next steps? You need a small one and you need a big one. Luna, the small step is, Representative Luna, is how you get the information that Grush has that he says he can't say in an open session. What's the answer to that?
So the first step would be getting elected members together to put pressure on the intelligence community to give us a SCIF. The reasoning that they used was that supposedly Grush's clearance was out of date, but there's mechanisms and workarounds with that. And then also, too, being that he is a whistleblower, obviously he has to be legally careful about what he's saying publicly, especially during the middle of an Inspector General investigation. But nonetheless, I mean, he also named things like white-collar crimes. He said that he was in fear of his life for an incident that had occurred. So there are many things that we have to look into, but that would be the first start. You know, this report supposedly may contain images and footage, and I just want to put out there that when Representative Burchett, myself, and Representative Gates went to Eglin Air Force Base, yes, we were stonewalled. Eventually, we were able, after arguing with the base commander, to interview one pilot, and we saw an image, and I can confirm that we saw UAP. And so the fact is that it shouldn't take a clearance to see that. There's other governments around the world that really expose us to their people, so why are we not doing the same thing?
Now, the big question is, who makes the people who don't want to talk? Now, one crazy idea is, Congressman Burchett, has anybody thought about trying to get an audience with the president and say, look, they'll tell you whatever you want to know. Why don't you say to these people at NASA and the Pentagon, this is one of the most bipartisan issues in the country. Okay, it has some of the most popular concern in the country. Couldn't he say, yeah, you're going to have to give information or going to have to explain not to? I mean, you have to get answers from the top or you're never going to really know. Isn't that a fair point?
That's a fair point, and that's idealistically, that's right. But in reality, that is wrong. They've had a history of stonewalling presidents from Eisenhower, Clinton, Reagan, probably Obama. And why do we continue to trust the people who have continuously lied to us about this issue since 1947? The only thing nothing's really going to turn them around. But right now, unfortunately, they're talking about they've seen the polls, they've seen the opinions of this country, and they're starting to say now, hey, we need to study this. So guess what? They want us to send them another $1 billion. No. Turn loose the files, brother. That's all they need to do, dadgummit. This is ridiculous. Well, this has gone on too long.
That's a good point.
Every alphabet agency that's had this is just covered this up from day one. We've got the people saying it exists. These are military folks, and again, it doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot up here in Washington that you've got a decorated veteran, but back in Tennessee, it sure as heck does, and I know it does in Florida.
Listen. You get an amen from us on that. I really do believe that the purse strings is your greatest power here. If you can get the leadership and your party and then bridge it across to the other side to put some conditions on the money that they want. Representatives Luna and Burchett, you are always welcome here and have an open platform to discuss the rights and responsibilities that are involved in this in service to the American people. Thank you very much for today and for what comes next, I hope.
Thank you.